All right, let's dive into something really cool today. We're going to break down the story of how one creator took a pretty simple idea, cute posters for kids, and turned it into a surprisingly successful digital product. And the best part? They used AI to completely skip over the hard parts, like, actually being a designer. We're going to get into exactly how they did it. So let me ask you this. Have you ever had one of those amazing ideas for a digital product? You're all fired up, you can see the whole thing in your head, but then it just kind of stalls. It never quite gets off the ground and just ends up sitting there collecting digital dust. It's super frustrating, right? Well, that's exactly where this story begins. And the creator behind this whole thing? Well, they put it perfectly. They had this big ambition, but they kept hitting a wall that I think a lot of us know all too well. The vision was totally there, but the execution, as they said, was just a little meh. So yeah, this first part of the story is all about that, those great ideas that just never seem to launch. It's this really common struggle that, honestly, isn't about a lack of creativity. It's usually about not having the right tools to make your vision look as good as it does in your head. The goal itself was so clear and simple: create something fun and helpful for kids and their families. But the roadblock was just as clear: zero graphic design skills to make it look professional. And that's the classic gap, isn't it? The one between a great idea and a product people will actually pay for.
And this leads to this whole painful cycle. You might even recognize some of these things. Buying that cheap, outdated PLR content. That's private label rights stuff. Hoping it'll be a shortcut, but it's just not good. Or you're struggling to find that unique hook that makes you different. Maybe you're sinking hours and hours into design tools, only for the final result to just feel kind of flat. And it all leads to the same place. You upload a product that gets no clicks, no traction, and definitely no sales.
But then came the breakthrough moment. And what's so great about it is that it wasn't some super complex new tool or spending a ton of money. Nope. It was a really simple but powerful insight that just combined two existing ideas in a totally fresh way. And this was the big shift. The old way was just pure frustration, failed Pinterest crafts and headaches trying to make something look good in Canva. The new way? It felt like pure magic. It was all about combining whimsical AI-generated art with simple, engaging kids' recipes. It's just a perfect example of working smarter, not harder. And that so-called magic really just boils down to this incredibly simple 3-step workflow. You stop being a designer and you start being a director. You just write a prompt, let the AI do all the heavy lifting, and boom, you've got a product you can actually sell. Okay, so we've seen the problem and we've seen this really clever solution. But what exactly was the final product that came out of this new process? Let's pop the hood and take a closer look. The product was called LittleChef posters, and its purpose was crystal clear. This wasn't just a random bundle of images. It was a ready-to-use tool for parents, for teachers, for any creator focused on kids. The AI was the engine that made it possible, but the charm was the real secret sauce. And when you dig into the features, you can really see how much value was packed in here. This wasn't just about selling a few posters, it was selling a whole system. You got hundreds of AI prompts to create your own stuff, you got editable text versions for easy customization, you got themes that were designed to hit on real pain points, like picky eaters. And, this is the big one, you got the rights to sell them anywhere you wanted. Then, to make the offer even more of a no-brainer, it was loaded with bonuses. So while the main product gave you the engine, the bonuses were like the high-octane fuel. A sticker pack, a title vault to help you come up with catchy names, and a guide on how to actually make money with this stuff. It was the whole package. So, all of this sounds great in theory, right? A clever idea, a well-packaged product. But did it actually work? This is the most important part of any case study. The results. Let's look at the proof. And the answer was, oh yeah, a big, resounding yes. The product didn't just sell, it sold fast. It got immediate traction on Etsy and parenting groups, everywhere. And that's the clearest signal you can get that you've found a real product market fit. The idea solved a problem people were more than happy to pay for. And what's really interesting is who was buying this. It wasn't just one type of person. It was a really diverse mix. Homeschool moms were the biggest group, then teachers, other online sellers, and parents. This just proved the product had this super broad appeal across that whole kids and family niche. And check this out, this is a fantastic, concrete example of how valuable this was. It's not just about the original creator's success, it's about their customers' success. One buyer took the prompts, generated their own little bundle, and made nearly $250 in a single weekend. That's a powerful testimonial right there. This quote really just nails the whole strategy. This success wasn't a fluke. It wasn't some gimmick. It came from finding that sweet spot in the market, a high-demand niche, content for kids, combined with a low-competition angle, these AI recipe posters. It was a perfectly targeted solution for a need that wasn't being met.
But hey, this isn't just about admiring someone else's success story. The whole point here is to pull out a framework that you can actually use. So let's break this down into a replicable blueprint.
Okay, here it is. First, use AI to jump over your own skill gaps. Don't know design? Awesome. Let AI be your designer. Second, combine simple ideas in a new way, like AI art and kids' recipes. Third, and this is crucial, do the research to find that high-demand, low-competition niche. Fourth, really focus on solving one specific problem for a very clear audience. And finally, stack the value with bonuses to make your offer an absolute no-brainer. And that really brings us to the big takeaway here. This strategy isn't just about cute posters for kids. It's a model you can apply almost anywhere. So the question I want to leave you with is this. When you look at your own industry, your own hobbies and passions, what high-demand niche out there is just waiting for you to come along and transform it with a little bit of AI magic?